I really want to know where Jerry Nadler's head's at.
We will be issuing document requests to over 60 different people and individuals from the White House to the Department of Justice, Donald Trump Jr., Allen Weisselberg.
How about our very own City Council Speaker, Corey Johnson? Where's his head at?
Businesses do better when we have a strong mass transit system. You help out, and we'll get your people to work on time.
And thus begins this latest edition of Keeping It Real with Alexander Garrett. I hope you're having a great night. I hope you're having a great day, that your Tuesday was good. It's a little cold out, sure, but keeping you warm, keeping it real tonight on Spreaker.com. I'm Alexander Garrett. Alex Garrett. You can find me on Twitter at AlexG in NYC, and you can find me there on Instagram as well. But seriously, where are the heads of these Democrats? Now, in all fairness, I really liked the idea that Corey Johnson was bringing up. Why don't we just break up the MTA and create the BAT, which is a new transit system that the city would control? But then I read into it. Cranes New York filled all of us in, and they said that what Corey Johnson was talking about was actually quite disturbing, and I'll play you why.
We can increase these taxes, get the money we need for the subway, and the federal government will pick up more than 20% of the tab. And yes, I'm asking the business community to step up and contribute a little bit more. It's only fair. Businesses do better when we have a strong mass transit system. You help out, and we'll get your people to work on time.
And that's all fine and dandy, right? Sure, we can pitch in a little bit as businesses, as New Yorkers, under this new transit system, this proposed transit system. That's great. But when you look at what Cranes is reporting as this master plan from Corey Johnson to fix the MTA, or break it up, if you will, how about this? Are you ready? Are you sitting down for this? Because this is just incredibly mind-blowing. Here's what they're saying. That corporate franchise taxes would double from 28% to 61%, and the general corporation tax in New York City, an unincorporated business tax, would be raised 17% more. So there's a bunch of tax hikes that are accompanying this breakup. I'm not a big fan of that. I thought Corey Johnson was going to make this easy. I thought he'd be like, we're going to fix this. You won't be impacted. They say New Yorkers won't be taxed, but New York businesses will be taxed. So New Yorkers will be taxed. And so I really hope that while we do need better solutions to the MTA, there is no doubt about it. I have to ask Corey, where's your mindset on this to raise taxes on us, and to put it in mayoral control as well? We've not seen mayoral control do very well in New York City. I like the idea to break up MTA, but I don't like the idea of hardworking businesses, small businesses, in addition to the vacant storefront tax on some people and the threat of seizing properties. Now you're going to say, hey, we're going to tax you 61%. We're going to also make sure that you, get bumped with your corporation tax. And apparently the federal government's going to pick up the tab. But President Trump has is weighing in on all of this. When you think about it, he's weighing in on all of this because, as you know, the Dems just requested 81 people to be investigated. Jerry Nadler did that.
We will be issuing document requests to over 60 different people and individuals from the White House to the Department of Justice, Donald Trump Jr., Allen Weisselberg.
And so Trump today, when asked about it, weighed in on all of it, including the infrastructure part, which, of course, New York City is dealing with daily.
Gotten used to the fact that we won a lot of states that haven't been won by Republicans in a long time. But essentially what they're saying is the campaign begins, instead of doing infrastructure, instead of doing health care, instead of doing so many things that they should be doing, they want to play games.
And I think in 2020, the games aspect will kill the Democratic cause, or try to anyway. I mean, Trump's right. They're not doing anything else but focusing on these 81. And baseball's coming back, right? Got these 81 names that they want associated with Trump for who knows what, except to just, as Sarah Sanders, distract from their other policies. Distract from the fact that, oh, by the way, China is lowering their taxes for their own people due to the tariff pressures. And, oh, by the way, they're saying, as we're nearing a new deal with them, they will lower tariffs on us. This is the whole point of why Trump did all this. Oh, trade war this, trade war that. And I'm like, no, they have to hold China accountable, something that hasn't been done in quite a long time, if ever. And now it's finally happening. When you see reports that China is going to lower their tariffs on our imports, you're like, well, why? Why are you so focused on this whole thing when good things are happening for the country? I believe the deficit could use a decrease for sure. 77% deficit, not a good number. But I also believe that Trump is doing things to bring people to the table. He brought Kim to the table, didn't like the deal, left. And so be it with that. But the House is really concerned with 81 different people to try and prove something that hasn't been proven in 2.5 years. When you think about it, in 2.5 years. So I have to ask the Democrats, where's their head at with all of this? Where is it when there's so much good stuff going on around the country? From my viewpoint, hopefully from yours as well. When we see that immigration's really kicked up, the apprehensions at the border are kicking up, and they're being apprehended. That's a good thing, don't you think? It also proves a sad need for a wall. The Times also writing about the sexual assaults that are happening at the border, which Trump talked about time and time again on the campaign trail. Now, they write an article about it, and it just affirms what Trump is saying, that there are dangers out there to women as well through all of this. And then, of course, you got the mergers. But 81 different people have been summoned by the House Dems. And I was thinking, that's enough of a lineup, 9 guys and women, obviously, in one lineup to make a baseball game, right? To make up 9 baseball games. 81 divided by 9 is 9. And so, when you think about it, 9 games, heck, these tax-paying dollars could be used to watch 9 national games. If they want to investigate and look at 9 different people a day, that's a national lineup in one day. And it brought me to this thought because I have Apple Music, and Casey Stengel probably was the last most entertaining person on Capitol Hill, and I'll play you why.
Why it is that baseball wants this bill passed.
I would say I wouldn't know, but I would say the reason why they'd want it passed is to keep baseball going as the highest baseball sport that has gone into baseball, and from the baseball angle. I'm not going to speak of any other sport. I'm not in here to argue about other sports. I'm in the baseball business. It's been run cleaner than any baseball business that was ever put out in the 100 years at the present time.
Well, Mr. Mantle, do you have any observations with reference to the applicability of the antitrust laws to baseball?
My views are just about the same as Casey's.
And that, of course, is the legendary Mickey Mantle and the even more legendary Casey Stengel. So the most entertaining guy since Trump had to be Casey Stengel, right? And by the way, I do miss baseball a lot. But he was on the Hill, not the pitcher's mound, but the actual Capitol Hill to do testify in the antitrust laws hearings way back in 1958. So a little fun for you there, but I'm serious. You want 9 people a day to investigate and to watch over and to look at? Hey, Nationals baseball is coming back. Bryce Harper's actually going to be facing Washington in Philly, in Washington opening series. But National baseball is right around the corner. You could save the taxpayer dollars to go watch 9 guys play on a baseball field a day in exchange for dropping the whole 81 people in the Trump campaign, in the Trump associates. I mean, going to a baseball game is much more well-served because you'll have an outcome there. Every time you want to watch 9 guys and 9 women, guys actually, but every time you want to watch 9 people perform, you watch them on a diamond. 9 positions on that field. It's not rocket science. Drop this whole thing, and if you really want to see 81 people's goings about, 9 people a day for 9 days, I'd say go and watch a national game because they're right there, and it would be much better use of taxpayer dollars for what we're in right now. Because to waste our dollars on 9 associates a day is utter chaos. It's utter ridiculous. And you would literally think that the Marx Brothers was interfering in the Trump presidency. Wouldn't you? And that, of course, was the inimitable Groucho Marx and the Marx Brothers, Chico and Harpo. They did some catch there. It was at the Opera House. Not at the opera. They were trying to cause chaos. But this is what it feels like, a Marx Brothers routine at this point. And it's got to stop. Or we will totally be drained out. 77% deficit. I don't think taxpayer dollars going into this furtherance of investigations makes much sense. And it's mind-boggling. Here on Keeping It Real with Alexander Garrett. It's mind-boggling. Alex.Garrett21 at yahoo.com. Alex.Garrett21 at yahoo.com. So they're looking for 81 people. Trump's looking to make a deal with China. China's looking to lower tariffs on us. That's great news. Why isn't it being broadcast? Anywhere. Why isn't a story of Bibles being saved from a fire in a West Virginia church being publicized more? Heck, why isn't the fact that a man with HIV has been cured, most likely, getting more attention? Well, it's cause, as Trump says, and I believe it, they want to play games. The media and the Democrats want to play games. And I think if you're an average American, you have to be tired of the games, don't you? Aren't you? I would hope so. I would really, really hope so. And I think that some people, like AOC, some people like Jared Nadler, like Rep. Omar when she tweets, some of these folks do have to get their head examined. So I ask you one more time before I log off, where are their heads at? Where's their mindset at? Someone wrote an article about how, on CNN, how there's a generational thing to socialism. Generational. Right now we're seeing Venezuela fight for their lives under Maduro. Fight for their life. Is that what they want in this country, to fight for our lives? I would hope not. And then the uproar about the merger. Well, the New York Times wrote about this a couple years ago. Titled, Obama's work to limit mergers may stop with the Trump administration. Now when he stops a merger, hey, what's wrong with it? Why is he stopping it? I'm done. I'm absolutely done. You're telling me that you're going to write how bad mergers are? But then a couple of years later, New Yorker comes out and says, oh, it's a bad thing he stopped the merger. It's backwards. So I ask those on the left that are against Trump stopping a merger when it seems like you're for that, where's your head at? Because this is not something brand new. This has been done before. And you don't have to look much farther than the Obama administration, who wanted to actually believe that limiting mergers was going to help the economy and enforce antitrust acts. So, he doesn't want that. Neither did Obama. And they actually allowed a series of mergers that left the United States with 4 major airlines and fewer alternatives for passengers in many cities. This, according to this was back in 2016. So, Trump wants to abide the antitrust. Obama wanted to, but he allowed 4 others, and nobody gave a hoot back then. But oh my God, because it's CNN, Trump's wrong in this. I'm done. Keeping it with Alexander Garrett. I might be back next time. I don't know. The world's getting crazier by the day. How can we all keep up with it? But we'll all do our damnedest, won't we? I'm Alexander Garrett. And I want to ask you that. Where's your head at tonight? Is it in the common sense world, or is it wrapped up in what everybody's reporting against Trump? Ask yourself that tonight. Ask yourself where your head is at. Have a great night, everybody.